This is the second video in a series of how to use Beaver Builder. And in this video, we're going to cover how to use the customize area. And that includes making the header, making the footer, and we can also look at this long footer here, which is maybe not exactly what you wanted. And then also all the colors and the fonts for the website. Those are all things that apply to the entire website. So, but before we get to that, I'm going to click on Edit Page and just go to the regular editor. And I have kind of a brochure for this website. This is a Pets for Everyone is a website that I have my students make. And now it's called the block editor in WordPress. We're gonna have a little better way of doing it, but you may have some simple pages you want in the block editor. So I'm gonna grab a bunch of text for a home page, okay? So that we have something we can kind of see what it looks like as we're going, okay? And this might be from the About Us page, but it'll be just some text so we can see what we're doing. So now I just kind of cut and paste. I have a bulleted list here. I'm going to change this in the block editor, this block into a heading so we can kind of see what headings look like. I made an H2 heading, if you're familiar with the heading numbers. And anyway, so it gives us a little text so we can kind of see what the text looks like. All right, so then I click Update. And then I can go to, of course, hidden by my recording thing, View Page. Okay, so now I have a bit of a home page here. It's a little ugly, it needs a lot of work, and we're gonna come back. That's gonna be the next video of how to make this look pretty. But for now, we're just gonna work in this customize area and customize the header, the footer, the fonts, and the colors. Now, the reason why there's so many cool things in Beaver Builder. So the first thing to do is to take a look at the presets. And there are a lot of presets built in. This is just the default preset. I use this on a lot of websites. It's very nice. But there's also a dark preset, which isn't going to work for us because I don't have a transparent logo. I have a logo with a white background, so it's not as bad as I thought, but it's not right because I need to have a white background because I have a white background on my logo. But as you can see, I can kind of get to some very different looks in my website based on each one takes a little longer because I'm recording, it takes longer. Now this is an interesting one. It's got like the page on it, look, which isn't my favorite, but we can override that. But I really like this nav bar here, and it's not a bad color. It's looking kind of nice like that. Let's try modern. I do like a nav bar because it gives you more room for a nav bar. By the time you make a professional website, you can have a lot. Now the nav bar is down here, but I'll see I'm getting all these different looks here. So the idea with yours is to look at all of them and see which one works best for you as a starting point. See, that would be nice, but I don't have a transparent background, so that doesn't work for me. Although later on I can change this color if I really wanted everything else about that. So I'm going to go back to, I think it was classic, because it had a white background as a starting point. And then one thing I was looking at is like light to light and dark to dark, because that would be something that you'd want to be able to use. Okay, so that's my first one, is a preset. And the reason why is when you have drop downs, you have to change all the colors for your drop downs. So it makes your life a little easier if you pick the one that's the closest. Okay, so then I go to general and I just start at the top, and this is what you should do too. We've already put in the first video all of the pieces that we need that we should do kind of before you get to this point. So first is the layout. I don't like the box layout. I don't know why. I like a full width website. I just think that the box layout looks a little bit like a 1990s website. And so I always go with full width. I never deviate on that. Now, this is a very important thing. I can change the content width to be wider. Now, if you have a lot of content for your website, now this is going to be a pet store website. I'm going to have a lot of content and a lot of pictures. I can maybe go a little wider. So I can maybe, this looks like this is not working here. It looks like it's kind of buggy. So I'm going to go to 1200. As a width. I would, on a website that has a lot of content, I might go to 1400 width. But if you're newer at making a website, you might want to keep it at the 1020, the default, or even more narrow. But you see, the whole website gets wider, and this is another thing that's important in design. You kind of want a straight line from here all the way down. Looks like I got a little bit of adjusting to do. Also, with this layout, this logo looks quite huge, but we'll work on that. We're just starting. Now, the rest of the things on this page you can kind of leave with the default, but this is the breakpoints if you're familiar with Bootstrap. This is the level at which it turns into a tablet mode and to a smartphone mode. It's best just to probably leave that. You can also add a scroll to top button if you want. I never do, but you could. Alright, so now background color. Now, I don't know, so I'm making a white background, so maybe I should change it to white. But it could be, it doesn't really display because I'm not using the box layout. I can also, but if I was using the box layout, I could put an image behind there. I'm just starting at the top, see? Okay, so we're in general, and we got the layout and background, just kind of starting at the top. Okay, this is my purple color that came from my preset. And I have a black logo, so I can go do anything for color that I want. But I kind of like the purple, so I might stay with the purple. Purple's looking kind of cool. I could go with a black and white look too. That might be kind of cool. Make the pictures all stand out. So this is my my accent color, and it's also the color of my links. I don't have any links. Oh, see, here's a link, right? And that's the color of my link. And so that's my accent color. I'm going to leave it what it was because that looks pretty good. Headings. So now we're going to style the headings of the website, and now this is our first font. And so now when you style fonts, it's too hard to look. You don't know what these fonts are. It's not a what you see is what you get, right? So I can change it to Verdana. I could do this all day long. There's only 400 fonts here, so it's just too hard to look like that. So what I do is I go to fonts.google.com. And if you're feeling creative, you could really find something that's unique. But I usually pick out something towards the top for most websites because I know other designers have used it. If it's at the top, it's getting downloaded more often, and so that's why I kind of look with that. I use Roboto. I use Montserrat a lot. Open Sans. These are all just kind of standard fonts. For a long time, my favorite font was Railway because I like I love the W's in Railway. So pick out a font. Pick out the font here in your mind. You don't have to install it from here though. Now you're going to go back here and say I really wanted to have. I've been using the Montserrat lately, but actually maybe I should have more like for my headings. Maybe I should have more like a handwritten font, right? So let's look for. So now with Google Fonts, I can go and I can look at handwriting fonts here to kind of go with my way my logo looks. Like Indie Flower, that's cool. Let's see if we can get Indie Flower here. I bet you I can. So I'm just going to start typing Indie. There it is, Indie Flower. So I'm just going to use that for my headings only because I don't want to go all crazy and have the entire website use these correct fonts. But actually, you kind of can see it kind of added a lot. In fact, if I could redo my logo again, I could actually do my logo over again with the Indie Flower, and that would look cool. Okay, but so far, that's where we're at so far. Now, you kind of just have to work from the top. This is a black. Black is a very harsh color, but I am using black, so I'm going to go to a true black. So the default was the 333333, which is the very dark gray. So I'm going to go to a true black for the headings so that it matches the logo. Okay, and then you can make, okay, now I'm just designing my headings, so I can go, oh, the Indie doesn't have a heavier font weight, so I have to live with it. Now I only have it, this is an H1 and this is an H2. Those are the same size. Anyway, but I'm going to make it a little bigger. So that's my home size. I'm going to go with a 36. And then the H2, I can also look at this line height, which would matter if it wrapped. Also look at my letter spacing, so I can do this letter spacing. But I'm not going to do that. That doesn't look better. And then H2 was almost the same size as the. Anyway, there we go. That's my H2 size. The other sizes I can't see, so I'm going to leave them for now. And I may come back and look at this later. You know, when you're designing a website, you kind of go back and forth. But right now we're trying to design the overall look and feel. Now, every now and then, just so I don't lose my work, I might publish it, right? So I don't lose my work. Okay, going back out. So that's the headings. Now I'm going to pick out my text. Now, because I have this kind of Indie Flower font for the headings, I probably want something that's a little more mainstream. So I'm just going to go with, I might go with Montserrat because I really like this font and I like how it looks in the menu. And so I'm thinking about the menu. You really don't want to have that many fonts on a website because every font you use has to load. Now this color is a little too Light. So, but is it going to be enough contrast if I use the 3s? I want to make sure you can, I don't want to use a black again. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, it's enough contrast. Okay, I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to use my 3s. I use that a lot for a website color. I use Montserrat. Now, for regular text, obviously you use normal weight, but you can use a light. If you pick out a font that has a lot of sizes like Montserrat or Railway or Roboto, you can actually go to this light look. And I think it's safe to use this light look now. It's kind of pretty too. In fact, with that light look, let me go back to black. It's very light and delicate, and the black kind of matches my logo, which I'm not sure it's the best choice every time, but it's a look I'm going for. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it for right now. Now, I usually go a little larger than 14. You either go like to, oh, it didn't change. Let me go 16 here. And if you have a website that you think older people might be using, and older people do buy a lot of things, I would maybe go to an 18 even for the size of the font. Now the line height is how much space is between the lines, and that's why I have you install a little text before you do it. So I do know, like, if you're trying to have ads on a website, you kind of want more space. I think the 1.4 is not a bad line height though, so I'm just gonna go with that. All right. Okay, so I'm just working at the top, going through it. Now I can actually make a custom button. I don't have a button to style yet, but if I had so it's hard for me to work on this right now. So let's skip the button for now. But you do want to change it to, we're using the Montserrat font, so you want to have it. You don't want to have. You want to make sure you're using Montserrat. You want to make sure you're using one of the 2 fonts. In fact, for the button, I probably could use the Indie Flower, but I can't see it as I go right now, so it's a little hard. So let's come back to the button later. But you just know it's there. Social links. So you need to put all the links into your social media. Yeah, let me put one of them in here right now. I'm just going to put a fake one in, facebook.com. Now it doesn't display anywhere yet, but it will when we get to the next phase. So I'm just jumping ahead here, google.com. I'm putting in fake links. Now, of course, you would put your actual link in here, right? At the very bottom, there's a nice one here. You could put in your email address. So, oh, actually, it was in the default. See, so when I put those in there, they're there. And see how it's a nice gray color. Well, it's not the right gray color though. But when I hover over, it goes to that my purple color. Pretty nice start. Okay, so now we are done with the general section. Kind of going kind of fast here, so you probably want to put a lot more thought into a website design. Okay, so now the header, and this is the cool part. Don't start with the top bar. Well, you could. Let's start with the header layout, because this is a very important step. So right now we have the nav at the bottom. This comes with our preset, but you can also do kind of a cool one, nav centered, which is kind of a nice look. We'll lose our, whoa, it's a little big, but we can adjust that. Here's a logo max height. We'll see if that lets it adjust. I can adjust that in code if it doesn't work here. 46, what 46 what? I'm going to change this to 100. Doesn't look like that's going to work, so I gotta get rid of my padding, but I'm going to have to adjust that if I keep that in the center. It's not bad. But I can show you how to adjust that. We'll get to that as we get to it. But let's not go with that logo. I'm not sure it's the right thing for this one anyway. I think, but there's inline one's kind of cool too. Let me show you that. The inline one's tricky because you have to have, inline logo position. All right, so that's not the one I thought. I thought we were going to do nav centered. I thought we were going to do something. I thought there'd be a different result on that. Anyway, so you can play around. You can see there's several options. And this is why, to make a website that looks entirely different, I'm able to use this Beaver Builder theme over and over again and make websites that have completely different layouts. So I think it's because I uploaded too large of an image here, and that's why it's doing that. And so just to kind of let us keep moving here, I am going to go back to nav bottom where we started. And then now when I'm in nav bottom, I get to choose what I put here. This call us is not a bad thing. That's your contact text. So I can actually choose, maybe I just want text. Maybe I just want social icons. Maybe I just want social icons because I don't really have a phone number. Although if I was a pet store, I probably would have a phone number, right? Okay, so let's just move on from that. Okay, now say I want a top bar. I can also put a top bar. So now I'm going to back out here and show you where I am again. So I'm going back out, I'm going to header, I'm going to start at the top. And so I'm doing top bar layout. I can do either one column or two columns. And so I'll just throw some text in here, but I can put this is where I can put a text menu in too, right up, if I wanted to have a menu at the top. So we can find the right pet. Okay, so now I have this top bar up here with some text. It could be a phone number up there. You can do a lot of different things. And you have all these options again. You can put your social icons there. So this is what the design part of it is, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Now I can also style this, right? So I'm going to go with a black background color. See how that looks. And I have my purple here. Now with black text, then I need to have, well, obviously, I'll do black and white. It's kind of a brave choice, I think. Now the link, I might have links up there, so I'll put links up there as well. I'm not sure, because now, see, the problem with doing it this way is the website, from a design perspective, starts looking a little stripey. There's like lots of stripes. And so a lot of times it works better just to do it like an off-white. Especially if you have a stripe down here and that's a different color. So that, but now we better change our text back to black here. And also change links to black. As you see, I'm just starting at the top and working my way through, and this is the best way to learn how to use it. Well, it's not that easy to see without the color behind it. You also in code can make this larger. We already did the header layout, but there's one thing here that kind of shows how much padding you want around your, and I want to keep it tight because remember I want to keep this to be less than 1.5 inches if I can. And I already have the nav bar underneath. Now header style. This is where I can put a background color behind here. Now I know I can't because I have the white background here, but I also can kind of repair this wrong text color, right? This needs to be black to fit my text color for this website. So I'm going to change both the link color, but I'll keep the hover cover to purple. That's all right. I can do that. And you see it has a leg. It's because it's a is what you get. Oh, look, I got Siri talking to me.
I didn't get that.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, okay. All right. So now I'm going back out. So that's the header. Now I'm going to do the header logo, which we already did in the last video. But if you missed the last video, this is where you install the logo. Now the nav layout. This is text spacing. How much space do you want between each thing? Do you want a search item, a search icon? On mobile, do you want the hamburger icon or menu? You kind of just work through all these things here. If you want the hamburger, if you want the menu button, what does it say? Does it say menu or something else? Which devices do you want to be in mobile mode for the navigation? As you see, this actually is already, let's see if it works here from the, see it has a mobile built in, right? So that's a little hard to see, so that's something we're going to have to fix, right? All right, so that's the nav layout, and then the nav style. So say I don't want to do this purple anymore. I'm just not sure about this. And actually, I think I need a little lighter purple to go with, I can kind of adjust the color right there. So I'm a little lighter purple to go with to contrast with the black. I'm not sure I like it, but that's what you do. And then you also can, there's just a lot of settings here. So some of these are needed. Oh wait, here's a very important setting here. So for your navigation, you want to make sure you don't load a different font for the navigation. And so I want to use Montserrat. Very important step here. Font weight is, I think it could be normal, but I also like to see, I really like Montserrat as uppercase. I think it makes a very classy size. And actually, I think sometimes, especially with a lot of menu items, the smaller size looks really classy with Montserrat. And that's the reason I like Montserrat. Now, I'm not actually liking this color change I did. I'm going to go back to more purple. Okay, so publish. I'm just kind of, see all I'm doing, I'm just starting at the top and working my way down. So now I'm down, I finished the header. Now the content's a little trickier, but these are different layouts that you have for a blog, but you also could have a content background. let's skip over this for now. This is a little trickier to use, but if you had a blog, this would be very helpful because you have several different, by archive, that means like post layouts. But let's think about that another time. Okay, footer. Okay, so now we designed our header and our nav bar. Now let's look at our footer. Now let me show you a quick trick here. So you see how it says powered by Beaver Builder, and as much as I love Beaver Builder, I think it's better not to say powered by something in your website, and so I usually don't keep that. So all I do is I'm in footer layout, and I plug it. So it already gave me this nice little copyright symbol, and I can say something more about it. I'm actually going to change it to my company's name, White Buffalo. Actually, my company's name is White Buffalo LLC. This to demonstrate Beaver Builder. I can add to this later. And so now, as you see, as I'm typing, I'm getting it down here. So that is one column. You can do 2 columns. You can also put a menu down here too if you wanted to, right? Or the social icons, again, if you want to put them down there. There's so many features. Now, footer style. Now I think I should do this black background. So I offset. So now I'm going to automatically goes, and you see it's changing as I go. And the text color, it should be going to my black and white. Okay, so you see there's lots of things going on here. Okay, so this video is getting kind of long, but I want to show you a couple more things here. Really just have to kind of work your way through it and just kind of trust that these things are all here and you can find features to it. Okay, so this right here is a footer that's built in, and you probably don't want this. Archives, they're all kind of bloggy kinds of things. So let's remove them all. But just keep in mind that, you see how you see a website that has like the 4 columns? You can get this, it's all built into Beaver Builder. You can make it yourself with Beaver Builder. And I don't want to get into widgets, but say you wanted to put something else in there, you could drag over a widget like another menu you made, or a tag cloud. Let's do a tag cloud. I never would use that in a real website, but we'll just see what it has here. Well, there's probably are no tags on the website yet though, so I guess maybe that's not helpful. Okay, so let's just let go of that. But this is where you can design out the 4 column menu that you see on most websites today. So let's go ahead and publish. And I think one more very important thing here. All right. So if you're not a web design student, then you kind of can ignore this part. Okay, so this was what makes WordPress so cool, and this is actually something that goes beyond just Beaver Builder. This is in every WordPress theme. So first of all, you can add additional CSS, right? So I'm going to put in a quick adjustment here because this logo is just too big, and ideally I would change the logo, but I'm not feeling like I want to do that right now. So now I'm going to look for a selector, and the selector for this would be the FL-page-header logo. Beaver Builder uses FL as their code. So FL-page. Oh, that's not the right one. Yeah, page. I really make this adjustment on almost every website. Okay, so now I'm going to put a max width in. And I'm going to kind of adjust it to make it not quite so large. So I'm going to put a max width of, let's say, 300 px in here. And see, now I have a nice tight logo. And that's the way I can kind of adjust it in code rather than adjusting it. So that is a lot of information, and probably too much information if you're not in one of my coding classes. And this is like how you use the customized area in Beaver Builder theme.